What's up, Dragon Ball Super TCG fans? It's Jacob from TCG Buzz with a deck profile of my mono blue Trunks deck. It's actually a pretty interesting deck, but before we begin, I got two things I gotta say. One, join our Discord. We need more people in our Discord, more Dragon Ball fans, so we can workshop decks together. We can just talk about new card reveals, all that fun stuff. There will be a link in the description. And two, I've had some questions over the past couple weeks when we put out deck profiles, people asking for printed out deck lists in the comments or on Reddit or on Facebook, asking for printed out versions of this deck profile. I just want to let you guys know those are always, with every deck profile we do, no matter what the game is, they are always in the description, fully typed out. And that's how it's always been. So we're going to get right into this one. We have our leader card, Trunks. Trunks, he has the standard awakening, and then when you combo on your turn with a card with a cost of 2 or less, you get to draw a card once per turn. So it's just a nice way to cycle through some advantage and maybe play a little bit more aggressively. Also, you know, if your opponent's stalling against you, it's not that big of a deal because you're still getting draws each turn, so you can still compete. But I do really like this leader. It's especially fun when you're on your turn, you're at 4, you get to use his combo skill, draw a card, and then you awaken, draw 2 cards from awaken, and then you get to reset the skill, draw another card from this side's skill, and you also get to draw a card when he attacks. So you get to draw a lot with this deck, and that's just going over the leader card. So I really enjoy this leader. It's not the most aggressive thing, and it doesn't have a way to fight stall, but you're probably going to sideboard things like results of training or some damage, self-damage dealers, so that's that. First card in the actual deck is Bulma. Bulma searches out your cost 3 or less Trunks, so she's just a useful card to have, and she's one of basically only 2 good turn 1 plays. So generally if I draw her before a mulligan, I'm keeping her. Not necessarily because she's the best card in the game, but it's something I can do early on for easy advantage. Next we have Unyielding Spirit Trunks. Unyielding Spirit Trunks is a 2-drop. He's a Trunks youth, so he doesn't count for some of your skills and he can't be searched out. But his skill is amazing. You're never going to call this thing to the board. When you combo with him, during your turn, you get to choose one of your energies. Choose one of your energy and stand it. And that's just great because, one, you're proccing your Trunks' skill with him, and you're going to combo with him anyways to get that stand 1. So you're standing 1 and drawing 1 from him. It's just really great. Next, we have Boost Attack Piccolo. This deck really likes its Boost Attack Piccolo. And not only are you using it because, you know, it's a great defensive staple in the game, but also it's got some synergy with a card that's coming later. Next, we have 2 copies of Mai. Mai's in there for when you're going all out and you've pushed through your attack and you just didn't quite make it there. You can throw for free a blocker on the field. Her skill does allow her to be played to the field for free, and she is blocker. She's all right. Next, we have 3 copies of Gohan. Gohan's in the deck because he's your only other solid turn 1 play, but also because of the fact that when you combo with him, you actually generally want to combo with him on your turn. Sure, you get to play him at rest and he doesn't get to do anything, but 1, he's a pressure unit, so people might attack him instead of saying attacking one of your other cards, but also because that will proc your leader's skill to draw as well. So you're getting a 15k on the board for 1 at rest, but you're also getting to draw 1. Next we have Mighty Attack Son Goku. This is a 3-drop Goku with critical. How could you not? It's such a good card. That's at 4 copies. We have 2 copies of, oh boy, this guy's name, Comrades Combined Son Goku. This Goku, when you play him, lets you search out a Vegeta and play it at rest, which has some really cool synergy with the deck. It doesn't synergize the greatest. Reason number 1 I have it in the deck, though, is because it is another Goku for the deck, and you want more Gokus in the deck. I am considering switching this for the Dash Pack Blue Goku, which is a really good card. I just don't have any copies. Next we have 2 copies of Vegeta, the Proud Father. So this card, if it's called by a Trunks skill, we'll get to the Trunks he works with later, you get to KO a battle card. Nice, simple ability, and it's the only card in the deck that just straight up KOs something, even if it's situational. And if you aren't getting the skill off and you're just calling him, he's still, 3 for a 15k. He's not terrible. Then we have 2 copies of Assailant Vegeta. Same thing as the critical Goku from before, but it's a Vegeta. Then we have 2 copies of Trunks, Creator of the Future. This Trunks has a very interesting skill. It's pretty unique to the game right now. So activation main, place this card at the bottom of your deck. If you do, choose 1 blue Son Goku or Vegeta from your hand with an energy cost of 3 or less from your hand and play it. So the thing with that is you play him, attack, sure he's a vanilla 15k, but that can do something. And then you get to place him at bottom of the deck, call your Vegeta or your Goku. All the ones I just showed off are targets for it. Then we've got a second 3-drop Trunks. This Trunks is interesting. This one, he has critical as a 15k, which is great, but he has a second skill as well that when you play him, you get to look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 blue Vegito with a cost of 8 or less from among them, and add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. Just a nice skill. There is a card in this deck that will proc with, but even if there isn't, it's just a great card all around, 15k with crit. You can't complain, and it's a Trunks. Next, we have 2 copies of Ultimate Judgement Jaco. He's in the deck just for defense because he can bounce a combo card. Just a nice, solid card to have. Then we have 2 copies of Restless Spirit Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. So this card's unique. It's a 4-drop. It has double strike, and when you play it, you get to check the bottom card of your deck. And if it's a Trunks of, 3 or less or 4 or less? Yeah, 3 or less. You get to play it to the battlefield, but all of its abilities are nullified for the rest of the game. So typically you're going to be calling this one because you used his skill previously and forced him to the bottom of the deck, so you know it's there. But if you're playing him just as a 4-drop, you've got that gamble still, and you can call either one of these 2 with it. Next we have the only non-blue card in the entire deck. 2 black cards. This is Masked Saiyan, the Mysterious Warrior. He's an Overrealm with an Overrealm 5 and 1 cost of mana to play him, which is the only way I pretty much ever play him. I never play him by his 5 energy cost. He's meant to be an alternate finisher for the deck. The only downside is you're losing your drop zone, which you actually want to keep with the deck, but that's fine. Generally, you play him when your deck's not working quite right, or if you just need that hard advantage or need to get rid of something on your opponent's field, because he does get to KO things as well, though it's the situational KO from the Overrealm, and he's a double striker with 20k, so he's just a great staple card. Then we have 2 copies of one of the deck's big finishers. This is Trunks, the Constant Hope. So if you have both a Son Goku and a Vegeta in your drop area, which is not hard to do, though some games you won't get it off, he gets triple strike, which is kind of crazy on a 6-drop, with 25k. But the real fun part about him, it's not the evolve. The evolve is nice, but the real fun part is that other skill. So when he attacks or is attacked, you get to choose any card from your drop area and combo with it, which if you've got the 4 life or less by the time you've played him, which chances are you do, you probably have one of these guys in the drop. So every turn you get to recycle one of these, making him a 30k, and he draws 1 on attack, or 35k, sorry. The thing with that is that also will proc your leader skill to draw another card, which is just wonderful. And that also applies when he's attacked. So if your opponent's trying to get rid of your big triple striker on the field, they're going to have to go through an extra combo. So he is kind of hard to get rid of. Though there are a couple guards in the game, like the blue 4-drop or 5-drop, I think, Frieza, that can bounce it back to the deck, which when he's bounced or KO'd by a card effect, you don't get to combo, which kind of sucks. So that's the hard way to beat him. Then we have the deck's alternate win con, I guess. We've got some Vegito action in here. This was a recent addition to the deck, just because I'm like, yay, why not? It's a fun card, and it has some synergy with the deck. You've got the Trunks, which can search it out, and it's a good card. So it's got the Union Potara for 5 onto a Son Goku and Vegito, which I generally have a Son Goku and Vegeta on the field anyways. It has dual attack and critical. That's already quite big. And here's the fun part. When this card attacks twice in the same turn, it gains double strike. So its second attack will be double strike as well. So it's just all around a great finisher with good amount of power. That 30k does some serious work. It's basically a step down from the secret rare Vegito while being a lot cheaper and easier to play. And the fact that you can run 2 and it's searchable by Trunks. Then we go into the extra cards in the deck. We have 4 copies of Whis' Coercion. It's your standard nullify. It's great. Enough said. We have 3 copies of Senzu Bean, just because that's really all I can fit into the deck. The deck's big weakness is space. You're drawing so many cards, so running 2 and 3 ofs is not a big problem. But I would love to see a 4th copy, but it's certainly fine where it's at. And then we have 3 copies of Objection, because you want that early game rush to get into your extra energy to push for that victory. This deck I've playtested it a decent amount. I'm still working on some of the numbers and trying to fit maybe some more Gokus and Vegetas in it. But the playtesting I've done already, it's actually a really strong deck. And when it hits off its skills, you're looking at 5-6 cards on board, including maybe one of your big boss cards with triple strike or double strike, dual attack, critical. It can get pretty ridiculous and people don't expect it. Plus it's got that consistency of mana because of the fact that it's mono blue. So that is my deck profile of Trunks. Thanks for watching. I'd love to know what you think of this deck in the comments. I see Trunks is kind of on the rise again, though it's mostly blue-green or blue-red deck. So mono-red is kind of mono-blue is kind of interesting. So let me know what you think in the comments. Let us know in the comments what decks you'd like to see deck profiles of in the future. We can see what we can do. Like this video, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, join our Discord, check out our Instagram. And I want to give a quick shout out to Frost Giant Games here in Green Bay, Wisconsin for providing this lovely, lovely playmat. And that is it for me today. So I will see you guys with another awesome Dragon Ball Super deck profile next time.